how's it going? Thanks for stopping by my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Danielle LaRocca and I do special effects, makeup, tutorials, hauls, reviews, unboxings, body paint, so that is what you can find here on this channel. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is my part 2 of my special effects mask making tutorial from when I did this leprechaun look on my Instagram and TikTok. With that being said, my Instagram and TikTok will pop up right down here, and I will also have it in my description box below. Throughout this video, if you like what you see, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to my family. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell. So, with all of that being said, I will also link all of my products that I used in this video down below in my description in case you guys are interested to check out some of that stuff to make masks yourself. All right, let's hop into the video. So here is the cast from part 1 in the video where we left off. I sat it in a box with some towels to prop it up carefully. What you're going to need in this video is some gelatin powder, glycerin, foundation, and vessels to mix things in. And of course, something to stir with. I'm going to start off by measuring out the items I need first, starting with the gelatin powder. You can look on the product to see how much you need and how much you want to use. This part doesn't have to be an exact science. What I'm measuring here is a cup, and into the bowl it goes. Next thing you're going to use is just your good old-fashioned H2O. Yep, some water. I'm also measuring out a cup of this as well. Next on the list is glycerin. I'm using 99.5% of, I can't pronounce what that says. And this is going to bind the gelatin and water to make your prosthetic a more durable consistency. Like I said, this part isn't really an exact science, but I am using a little under a cup for the glycerin. Here I am pouring in the water first and giving it a good stir into the gelatin powder. It's okay for it to look a little chunky at this point because next we're going to add in the glycerin slowly and continue to stir until it gets a little more put together. As you can see, the product is wet and covered thoroughly with the water and the glycerin, and it's okay that it does look like this because next we're gonna pop it in the microwave. This next step is pretty crucial to the process. You want the mixture to be hot and melted, but not burnt, or else the gelatin won't mold correctly. To keep the integrity of the product, I'm only doing 15-second intervals at a time, taking it out to stir, and I repeat this process about 3 times. So in other words, you don't want the mixture to boil. If you start to see bubbles, then that probably means that you're cooking it too much. So as you can see in my last interval in the microwave, my mixture starts to look like a thinner, kind of soupy but smooth consistency, and that's exactly what you're looking for. So here you can see when I stir it, the type of consistency that it has. This next step isn't too important. You don't have to add foundation if you don't want to. I just wanted to add a little bit of the color that I used because I wasn't sure how dark the normal gelatin was going to turn out. In this next step, I'm taking the cast and I'm just spraying it with a release agent, and then I'm also spraying my armature with that same release agent. You can use Vaseline. However, if you use Vaseline, just know that it might end up with a film on top of your gelatin prosthetic. In this next step, I begin to drizzle the gelatin mixture into the more difficult parts of the mask, being the nose and eye areas. anything with tiny crevices because I want the details to transfer into the final product. I start drizzling a thin layer and sloshing it around, getting it all over the sides, spreading it out with my popsicle stick, and then evenly pouring more in the whole thing to make it thicker. So again, I'll take the Special Effects gelatin, I'll pour a little bit more, and then slosh it around the sides to make sure that it is nice and even. One last round, and then it's ready to be put on top of our armature. And I think this is probably where I made my first mistake, is I did make it a little bit thick. I should have stopped at the last time I poured, but I did one more, and that made my prosthetic a little bit thicker than I wanted, but it's totally okay. So now I know for the next time what to do. So the next step is to flip it around and put it on top of your armature. And I was just giving it some pressure, holding it down, making sure that it was okay. And if you see a little bit of the gelatin oozing out, that's completely fine. So while we're waiting for this process to be done, I have a little bit of gelatin left over, which is great. So now I'm going to show you how you can save it and use it for next time. So what you're going to want to do is take some translucent or colorless powder. Mine in particular, I'm using the Mayron Color Set powder, and I'm taking a brush that I don't mind getting ruined. So what you're going to do is you're literally going to powder over this whole entire thing. Take your fingers, slowly start to peel it up, be a little bit gentle, and then as you're lifting up corners, you're going to coat the whole piece of gelatin with powder. You do this because you don't want the gelatin to fold in on itself. Keep in mind that it's still a little bit sticky and you don't want it to get stuck all over itself because you want to be able to use it again. Once you get it out of its container, you're going to want to powder the whole thing again. So when you're done with that step, you can either cut it up or you can leave it as it is like I'm doing, and then put it in a Ziploc bag or a container that is sealed pretty tightly, and you're going to want to store it in a dry, cool area. So when you go to use it for next time, all you got to do is take out as much as you need and then pop it back in the microwave. So we're finally at the last step. It's been about 45 minutes, so now I'm going to start to release my mask. Taking the same Color Set powder, I'm going at my mask from all sides, powdering and loosening up the gelatin. So there you have it, your own gelatin mask. From here, you can clean it off with a damp towel or makeup remover and proceed to paint it however you like. Be creative and have fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye!